Hello everybody and welcome to JGod Gaming. Today's video is all about predicting spawns and getting shot in the back a lot less often. If you do find the video enjoyable at all, or you find any one of the tips helpful, make sure you hit that like button. I do have a goal of 150 likes on the video, so if you can help me out with that, it'd be very appreciated. Also, if this is your first time to the channel, I typically cover Call of Duty news, in-game updates, best class setups, subscriber breakdowns, and tips and trick videos like this one you're seeing today. If any of that's the type of content you typically like to watch, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button with notifications on so you don't miss out on future videos. So if you guys didn't know, all the spawns in the game are pretty rigid, and what I mean by that is they're pretty fixed. And what you're looking at right here is a spawn map for pretty much all the maps in the game for Team Deathmatch. Although I just said specifically Team Deathmatch, it does apply to pretty much all the other respawn game modes. One of the main exceptions to this is Hardpoint, just because with the hardpoint moving, the spawn locations move with those. So just something to be wary of, but not a big deal. What I'm going to do is kind of teach you a little bit on how to focus on what elements you should be paying attention to when it comes to watching the map and how to predict where these spawns will be. And to keep the information as simple as possible, we're going to be focusing on one map, and today's map we're going to be focusing on is Flak Tower and giving you a complete breakdown. But even though we're focusing only on one map, a lot of these rules will pretty much just apply over to the other maps. You just got to kind of visualize that, and it just takes practice over time. So what you're looking at right now is the colorful spawn guide that I put together to kind of simplify the process. Red will represent that primary spawn, and that's where you and the enemy team will spawn a vast majority of the time. Obviously on opposite ends, if you're spawning at the bottom, the enemy team will be spawning at the top. Blue and green are what we call secondary spawns. So if you are blocking the red area and the green, they're more than likely going to spawn at the blue. And then vice versa, if you block the red and the blue, they're more than likely going to spawn at the green. If you block all three, more than likely you're going to be flipping the spawn. And that's where you get some irregularities in controlling the actual map. And I'm going to talk about those lines as we get into this gameplay. I actually just playing with bots loaded up so I can give you guys some examples as I'm playing live to force the issue on Flak Tower, and then give you perfect examples of how you can pay attention to the minimap. Focus solely on the minimap, and it's going to tell you a lot of information. The recon will tell you a lot of information as well. If you are enjoying the video so far, do remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So what you're going to see me right here is I'm placing some S-mines, just some traffic areas right there. And then pretty much I'm going to post up in this window, and this window is going to tell me kind of where people are at. And what you can see is those little lines on the minimap. The little orange line that you see across the middle, that's just the halfway point of the map. That's nothing specific, just designating the halfway point of the map. So if, let's say I'm on the bottom side of the map and I'm pushing towards the top side of the map, what you're going to notice is there's another little purple line. Well, what you ideally want to do is get as close to that possible to that line without actually crossing it. And that's how you're going to maintain that map control and the map control I speak of. And there's obviously scenarios where you can cross that line and it's not going to flip the spawn. Just keep in mind it depends on where the majority of your team is. If the majority of your team pushes beyond that 50% mark and pushes all the way to that approximately 60, 65, 70% mark, then what happens is the spawns do flip. So you're going to see right here in the gameplay that I recognize that the spawns flipped right away, and you can see where all my teammates are. They stop spawning behind me, so I go rotate to the other window. And this is where I'm holding that back line, making sure my spawns don't flip because I'm pretty much in control. And then if they do flip, I got pretty good indication when they're going to flip. You can see all the enemy team is in front of me more than likely because all my teammates are behind me. There's only one guy on my team that is in the enemy spawn, and I'm just pretty much shooting here, calling in streaks, whatever the case is. But you can see how the mini-map control is. I'm kind of locking down the area, just making sure I don't rotate too far. And then pretty much as long as I stay in this area, I got a good idea of what's going on. Enemy team still spawning to the right and the top spawn. And when I pull out the little mortar strike, you can see where my teammates are. We're really pushed up to that 60-70 line, and the spawns aren't flipping yet. But what you're going to see is once I call in paratroopers, it makes it really easy for them to go off, get into their spawn, and you can see where the majority of my team ends up being. And then you immediately can see that the spawn's flipping. My teammates still just spawned right behind me, so nothing's happened there. And I'm just waiting it out, just waiting and waiting. You're going to see as soon as a certain turning point, you're going to see that it flips over. So the enemy team is about to die. I just killed the last guy on their team, probably on that side. And then now the spawns are about to flip. So you see the guys are coming through here. So it's almost like instantaneously that you are paying attention to the mini-map. Obviously, as soon as they go too deep because they're bots, they don't know what they're doing, they ruin that map control we had. And you experience the same thing when you go into online matches, teammates running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Even if they're good players, they might not necessarily understand the concept of spawns and map control. stuff like that. So they kind of ruin the flow of the game. So why does this even matter? Why does it matter you knowing where the spawns are? A lot of times people end up getting shot in the back, and obviously if someone's using mountain and they're being stealthy, there's a lot of other variables, likely they're going to probably shoot you in the back because that's their goal, that's their whole objective. But for the most part, most people aren't being those types of players. So a lot of times if you're paying attention to that mini map, you can see where your teammates are. It gives you a good indication of where the enemies are. There's a little bit voids in the map that tells you exactly where they're going to be, and allows you to be able to predict where things are happening, what's moving around the map. And you can see the spawns right there. I already know they're coming from the backside. All my teammates are behind me. So now I rotate a little bit further back. Easy kills. Obviously they're bots, but at the end of the day, these would be easy kills anyways, as long as I know. Otherwise, I would have my back turned to them, probably died, get shot in the back, and not really known if I'm not paying attention to that. I know a lot of times people ask tons of questions. Well, how do I do the mini map? How do I struggle with it? Well, just make sure that you have your HUD as tight as possible. That's one of the biggest tips, and that'll bring the mini map closer to your crosshairs regardless of your screen size. Obviously it benefits a lot more if you are on a big screen. It will bring your view a little bit tighter, but for the most part, bringing it tighter in general is a huge tip that I recommend everyone use. So that just about wraps up the video. If you did enjoy the video in any way, if you found any of these tips helpful, or if you thought it was helpful to kind of get a better idea of how the map works, go ahead and make sure you hit that like button. I do have a goal of 150 likes. If you can help me get there, it'd be very appreciated. Go ahead and subscribe. Obviously, if you're still watching, you did enjoy the video. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you have any ideas for future breakdowns, go ahead and let me know, and maybe I can make one of those a video in the near future. Thank you guys for watching. As always, have a great day.